Isn't it that the Imam sometimes would say to you and I, what is it that you and I are doing? Are we placing happiness in the heart of the Imam, or God forbid, are we making him sad? Are we placing grief in his heart or joy in his blessed heart? Let me give you this story because it highlights how the Imam alayhi salam looks for his followers who place happiness in his heart. There is a great scholar by the name of Sayyid Mehdī Baḥr al-ʿUlūm, Radwanullahi ta'ala alayh, one of our great ulama who was what? He was in Najaf al-Ashraf, and he passed away many years ago. It is said that he had some communication with the Holy Twelfth. One day he decided to visit the city of Hilla, where I am honored to be from, yes, in Iraq. Hilla, he decides to go. This is a marja. He's visiting a city. There is a huge number of people waiting for him at the entrance of the city. When he enters, they all ask him, they say, Maulana, we want you to stay in our house. We want you to remain in our house. The rich, the ulama, the merchants, the people who are in charge, yes, he looks and he finds one individual who's not amongst them, and he says, I'm staying in this person's house. They turn. It's a normal individual. Normal as in the minds of people, yes? As in he is not anyone special in any modern or contemporary or worldly measures. They say nothing. They say, we don't want to upset him. He's decided to stay in this person's house. He goes and he stays in that person's house for a few days. He watches their action. The Sayyid Mehdī Baḥr al-ʿUlūm, yes, a great scholar, watches the action of this man. After a few days, comes and sits with him. He says, I've seen your day-to-day tasks. You seem to be doing like everyone else. Salah, going to work, coming back, normal. Have you done anything special in your life? This man said, no, my marja, I have not done anything. I'm just a normal person. As you see what you get, yes? Now, the marja says to him, Sayyid Mahdi says to him, but there must be something. Please think. Have you done something amazing in your life? He said, well, there is something, but I feel embarrassed to tell you about it. He said, no, tell me, no problem. You can confide in me. He said, Maulana, many years ago, I was looking to get married. And I found a lady who I thought to be a righteous, truthful, wonderful person for me to get married to. Everything was fine. There was the wedding ceremony. At night, I discovered something which made me enraged with anger. Yes? I discovered something that I thought is going to bring me or bring her much disgrace. I don't need to tell you what he discovered, yes? He said, when I discovered this, I went and stood up and said, I'm going to go to your house and I'm going to expose you and I'm going to tell to your family and and I'm going to divorce you straight away, and because of this disgrace. Yes, because I expected to marry somebody who is not married before, yes, who has not consummated the marriage before. We are told that this lady, his wife, began to shake and cry and beg him and said, please, what are you going to achieve from this? Number one, they might kill me because there was a tribalistic society. Yes, this was something big. Number two, I will never marry again if I stay alive. And number three, my family's reputation will be destroyed completely. Therefore, please, don't do this. He said, I was raging with anger. I said, why should I? You have deceived me. Yes? You only marry once. Well, as people say. Yes? The idea is what? The idea is, he said, at that moment, I walked away from the door and I was about to go to the family. Then for that moment, please, mind that moment. Think about that moment. He said, I stood and I said, let me calm down. I sat down. And I calmed down. Then I started to think, what am I going to achieve through this? I'm going to destroy a whole family. I'm just going to achieve personal gratification. I feel good about myself, yes? She came to him and said, if you forgive me, I swear I will be the best wife that I can be for you. I am for you. I'm not this, I'm this. I'm remorseful for what I did in the past. He said to the marja, Maulana, I didn't do anything. I said, for the sake of Allah, I will forgive her. And I passed on. And alhamdulillah, we're living together. He said, as soon as he said this, Sayyid Mehdī Baḥr al-ʿUlūm stood up and said, that's it. I said, what is it? He said, don't worry. When he was about to leave Hilla, the scholars and everyone came to him and said, Maulana, we have to ask you, why did you stay in this person's house? Can you tell us? Sayyid Mehdī Baḥr al-ʿUlūm said, it was not my decision, it was his. It was his. That's all he said. Imam alayhi salam had chosen that individual for the marja' to stay in his house. Why? Because he had this moment that he could have either angered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or sought the blessings and the pleasure and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That moment Bani Israel had when Samiri came with the calf. They had that choice. That moment is the determining factor for the human being. Each and every one of us has that moment in our lives. Each and every one of us goes through this moment where they are able to make this decision. Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi had that moment. إني أخير نفسي بين الجنة والنار. I'm choosing between hell and heaven. He chose the right path, isn't it? You and I have so many moments in our lives. The Imam alayhi salam is asking us, I want that moments for you to do it for the sake of Allah, and it will bring me happiness in my heart.